Welcome, Team Spiritual members. This is our community response video for all the comments that came in this week. It was pretty active this week, so we're going to try to, be as efficient as possible and get right through these for you. So, our first question comes from Leanne Sampson, who says, I enjoyed the commercial analysis of this the comical analysis of this story, and I found it very appropriate that you brought to light the fact that although you guys aren't an authority capable of explaining the mysterious balloon floating over the US, the authorities who are responsible for explaining this aircraft have nothing helpful to share.
Yeah, I was watching some of those of the recent one they shot down over Alaska.
Yeah, another one apparently.
Yeah, I was watching some of the stuff on that. And it dawned on me that part of their response, it might just be in case enemy countries are watching, right? Because it's always I've met people like this where everything they frame is I'm okay. I don't know about their situation, but all I'm saying is I'm okay. It's all don't you worry about it.
Posturing.
We're collecting data. All you need to know, public, is that you're not even talking to the reporter. You're not talking to the question that was asked. You're just saying what you want to be heard and said.
Yeah, by the people who are sending this stuff over.
All they need to know is that we're learning about them. That's all they need to know. So and they're like, hey, that's not what I asked. It's next. Good question.
Yeah.
Yes, we are definitely positioned well, and we know more about them. That's how it seems like to me, and I could be friggin' wrong.
Well, it's good because it kind of what you're talking about, I think, is relevant for our next comment from Rhonda, who said, so we have NORAD for the main reason of just telling us when we will die. Oh, okay. And yeah, I feel the sentiment because you're not telling us anything relevant. We're not learning anything new. We're completely in the dark. And this is the type of nonsense that gets brought to us. And I think your analysis on it was right, that they're not talking to us, they're not telling us anything.
What's
but
NORAD?
They're posturing. I would say that they're probably some entity that does surveillance and monitors the area.
Okay, yeah.
I've
heard of NORAD
guessing,
before.
Yeah.
I don't know what it stands for and what it is.
But that would be my guess.
I think I've heard it.
That's what's going on there. But yeah, here you, Rhonda.
Yeah, same with that countdown to the end of the world clock.
Okay, so our next comments, which there was a ton of them from our Corpse Under the Weather song that we did.
A lot of people really like that one.
Yeah, so thanks to the Corpse community who supported on this. We're not bound or we don't have a big tie to the Corpse. We were responding to something that was trending and that we felt there was something
but
deeper
we're into the
you could
arts.
extract.
We're into the art community, and art is important, I think, to both of us.
Yeah.
And so to explore that was cool, and I think we should do more of it, actually.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll get into these comments and we'll kind of address that. The first comment, though, comes from AJ, who said, this song is just so good and is one of maybe 2 or 3 songs he has that are vulnerable. He is agoraphobic and has deals with depression as well. So it seems like he was talking to himself too with the would it kill you just to smile and leave your fucking town.
Yeah.
He likes to have multiple meanings within his lyrics. So I also feel like saying he had one in the chamber and one for himself outside of the obvious meaning. I think he was also meaning another alcohol shot for himself, damaging his liver.
Yeah.
Which I never even thought of that.
AJ, good comment, and it seems like they're well aware of Corpse, and I had no idea they were agoraphobic or anything.
Yeah,
it's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. Next comment comes from. Let me scroll down here from Mochi. Please more Corpse. I'll be there when you do. So in response to that, because we had such a good reaction to that video and everyone from that community was so good, we're gonna do one more.
Sure, yeah.
We don't just we don't like to get too zoned in on one thing because we like to try and get a broad spectrum. But hey, when you guys come out like that, we're gonna support and show our appreciation.
Definitely.
Next comment comes from Chazzy Sweeza. I can see that you're new to reaching the Corpse's songs. I highly recommend listening and reacting to his other songs, since on this one he's using a high-pitched voice when he is away from his usual deep, raspy voice. This song really connected me to something that happened in my past that coincidentally it happened during a storm. Corpse did also mention on his Twitter that he made this song during a storm, to which it reminded him of a moment that made him write these.
This Corpse guy, the more I learn about them, him, them, whatever, they seem really like super interesting. Like the more I learn about this person, they seem interesting. I'd like to talk more about it. And what was it? What was the other thing I wanted
Well,
to say?
I took what they said. They said, "Hey, go listen to it." So actually, getting ready for this, I went through and I listened to the whole discography.
Oh, cool.
And it was a really good song. I like some songs more than others, which is going to be anyone's case with music. But good stuff. Very dark though.
The other sense I get is that they're skilled at making.
It's
art.
one person.
Yeah, I
It's just
know.
one person,
He seems skilled at making music that that can be interpreted in different ways, which is a freaking skill, man.
Yeah.
Like when you can make something that like speaks to different people for very different ways.
Yeah.
That's got to be a skill.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think we mentioned in that video that, you know, this is far reaching. I'm sure there's a lot of people who can relate, and bam, there's someone right there, right? So thanks, Chaz. Moving on, we got My Virtual Coffin. Woo! You got to listen to his other songs with his more popular voice, because for me, who has listened to him for a long time now, I don't even think it was him singing at first, because his voice in this song sounds so different from his usual voice, which I got that impression from the comments coming in. So that was why I had to check it out, because it's a much different component in his other music. Okay, and so we got one from Anastasia Bondarenko from Russia, and so it came in and the chat is in like Russian writing, so I couldn't even understand it. So I had to translate it through Google Translate just to understand what they said.
Oh, cool.
But they were just like, "Hey, way to go! Like, we noticed that, you know, your subscribers went up and your channel did really good off of that. So yeah, hey, you know, that happens every now and then. So thanks for noticing, Anastasia."
Thank you.
Out in Russia.
Hope you're doing all right out there.
Black Angel 08. If you are new to reacting to Corpse, when you go to his other songs, it's far from what you're hearing now. Hope you do explore all his songs. The reason this blew up is because it's a higher register. You'll get what we mean by this when you go explore older songs. Hope you enjoy the other songs as well.
Oh, so this Corpse video that we were reacting to was like a blew up for this artist when as compared to their other stuff.
You could say that, but when I went to this artist's page,
and I'm only saying
this,
there and all that
yeah,
because the name is Corpse, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I didn't know that it was like a guy or whatever.
It's he on his page actually. He doesn't have a boatload of content, maybe 15, 16 songs.
Yeah,
spread out over maybe the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
and they've all had millions of hits.
Yeah,
so Corpse has done very good off of, has a good community, so they know him well. But
and it's one person, right? Like with the name Corpse, it could have been multiple people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I get the sense that it's one person, and they're
yeah. All right, Gabby SE. Don't know if you guys are familiar with Corpse. I think it was obvious that we weren't familiar with Corpse by now.
And it's obvious that I haven't done my homework since then. I didn't.
But would love to see reactions to his other music. His upper register sounds so pretty in this song. Great video. Thank you, Gabby. I don't know if you're saying great video to his video or our video doing the reaction, but hey, thanks for coming out and watching it.
We didn't have a higher upper register.
Yeah.
We didn't react in falsetto. That was awesome.
All right, next to the Jordan Peterson Invitation to the Future on Joe Rogan Experience reaction video. So Soul Ecstasy wrote down, "Jay Peer appeared in my dreams twice. Cool guy, but had me concerned about my psyche momentarily."
Oh, jeez. Jordan Peterson, if anyone's going to show up in your dreams, hopefully it wasn't like, what is it, the sleep paralysis demon, like,
oh, jeez.
"You better clean your room when you wake up." Like,
I think you just got, like, because you had mentioned something like that. So he's just making a comment on that. And then Terry, who always writes well thought out comments, his says, I tend to listen to the climate change scientists, not a clinical psychologist. JP started off on a slippery slope when he opened with climate is everything, and the climate models don't account for all the possible variables. What? Off target with assumptions and allegations as though he was actually speaking something that made sense. Ooh, harsh. He hits all the dog whistles of the far right. Ooh, that's what he wanted to do. Well monetized in that approach too. That's all I can say. He is well spoken, erudite. I had to look that up, but like I think it's like well educated.
Okay, yeah.
But completely off base with his anti-science gibberish. Russell Brand, ? Really? ? Down the conservative rabbit holes we go. IMO. P.S. Good mix of humor, Justin. JP is fabulous. He's commenting on your impressions. Corpus, haha, because you were asking about the word corpus. And corpus is having like a large, a large group of writings down somewhere.
Okay, so I was
lots of books.
I think whatever I said, it was
Probably. I don't know. I can't.
I don't think I was referring to books.
Yeah, some having a lot of literature. But anyway,
Thanks for the comments.
yeah, thanks for the commentary. There's a lot you can unpack from that answer there. When it comes to far rightness, I'm like, who decides how far right is too far right? Who gets to make that distinction? I think that's something we're thinking about when you think about it. And yeah,
How far right is too far right?
Jordan Peterson is opining on science and making like talks like that, but he's saying that he wants to get together with a group that's not just him. I think the whole idea is that a bunch of people get together who have a kind of a different vision of what the future entails. Just because you're not a science doesn't mean you're not allowed, like a scientist doesn't mean you're not allowed to have an opinion on something.
Yeah, I agree. And there's, okay. IMO, first of all, whatever you ask one side of thing, you can usually ask the other. Now, are there some things that that you shouldn't take a position as an authority, right? Like, just because you're not a mechanic doesn't mean you can't talk about cars.
Yeah.
But if you're a mechanic, you can't like give advice on how to do a proper surgery on a human.
Yeah, but
right?
Well, so there's
Maybe,
lots of
what if
examples. You might be able to get away with it. Say you're Bill Gates.
Yeah,
what the hell does Bill Gates have to do with vaccines? But he's all over
right,
that shit.
Right. And it is possible that somebody in their free time, like friggin' studies human surgery, and then like just so is there a doctor? No, but I am a amateur surgeon.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's the best we got right now. It's all this stuff is just do what you feel is right. Do what is genuine to you. If you really want to take a hard stance on something and you're like, I think that is evil, then who the hell am I to, I'm allowed to disagree. I'm allowed to argue back. Yeah. But I'm not. It's my preference that people allowed to speak their mind, have their own opinions, be as passionate or informed about a certain subject as they want, and people are allowed to, as a group, decide the legitimacy of someone.
Yeah.
As much as they want, as a whole and individually, and it's everything.
Yep.
I hope that made sense, man. I appreciate the comments though.
Good comment. All right, moving on. Bam. All right, we're on to our next video. 3 types of yogis reactions. Sadhguru best motivational speech 2023 for students. Not that he did it in 2023, but that it's still relevant in 2023.
Timeless.
Damn you YouTube algorithms that make me pick these titles. All right. Okay, so first one was Aki Moon, who said, perception is the key. I wrote, could you please, I responded and said, you can read that there, but basically, could you elaborate upon it? And then Aki wrote back and said, we are who we are is by how we perceive things. And if we do so without any filter, it can take us to reality of existence. So I think out of the 3 type of yogis type of video, what he's getting at there is that through that type of a practice, a yogic practice or something like that, you might be able to get to like this cosmic understanding of something bigger than yourself.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that was what he was trying to say there.
Very, very like possible. You know, is it possible that there's a more than one way to arrive at universal consciousness or higher consciousness? And here's a tricky one: is it possible that arriving at consciousness or enlightenment is a different experience for everybody? Now, some people I think would be like, no. You know, there is at the core of this thing, there is a unrefutable, completely unified, all in agreement truth.
Yeah.
But the nature of reality for me thus far is that there's surprises around every corner and things you never thought possible or come manifest. And you know, who the heck knows? What do you think?
I don't know. I try to listen to. I'm not there yet. I'm still like working out. I have my own little like practices that I do with the limited amount of time that my life provides for me.
Yeah. People like to connect though, right?
Yeah. I see myself as on like this journey where I'm just like taking information in and trying to like put positive elements into my life, positive practices that might elevate my understanding, whether it's reading a book or going for a jog or meditating.
Yeah, but it's nice when you come across something, when you have an epiphany or something, and then you go and you find somebody else that's like had the same experience, and you're like, I'm not alone. We can now collaborate and maybe make like a sprungle situation or for whatever the hell the word is.
Well, I would like studying this stuff, this type of stuff, consciousness work and stuff like that. And I know you've done a lot of it too. I seem to hear a lot of blending of these stories where there are a lot of similarities. So I guess I can't speak for you, but
like sometimes when the people talk about enlightenment, it's like, oh, you just wait, you're gonna find out that it's Fight Club, that at the end you were everybody, and that you're like, oh, room spinning around you, like I was behind the whole thing.
Don't spoil it. We got some good videos coming up this week that are going to like speak into that.
So we'll touch on that.
Yeah, we're gonna.
But don't you ever get that sense that sometimes the big joke is like that? Like it's funny in a dream. Sometimes you'll encounter somebody that's like autonomous and talking and like, hey, I care about stuff, and it's a dream character.
Yeah.
Your mind came up with another part of yourself that is like autonomous and has its own position.
Yeah. Or
something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Interesting. Let's keep it moving. All right. Next, Terry again. Now he wrote this one. You wrote this one masterfully, Terry. I like the way that you wrote this one. He says, "Love is a verb, not a posture on a floor. We radiate love not when we are consciously elevated through some commitment to mystical practices and teachings that might be debatable, but when we smile to greet someone, open the door for someone, carry someone's groceries, visit the sick and shut in. 3 kinds of yogis give me a random act of kindness rather than a claim of enlightenment. Keep it real like my fave yogi, Yogi Bear." Nice punctuation.
And the thing about that comment is that it's all about keeping it real. It's all about like, let's keep it real here.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words often.
Yep. Yeah.
But I think we're similar in the sense that we're still left a crack of that door at least open for like, well, what if it's thinking is possible though, that you could become so conscious that like it shatters. So you ever get a creepy feeling about somebody? You're like, you're up to something. Sometimes people radiate different vibes, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes in life you work really hard and you attain something and you're like, I'm proud of this, and like that's the hardest thing to let go, is something you worked hard for and you got. But there are some things that you did nothing for that are like the light of your life. Depending on where you grew up and things that were handed to you as a child, it's like you didn't earn it, you didn't do anything. It was given to you, and it's very important and it's significant. So what do I mean by this? I'm saying that it is possible. I'm just leaving a crack in the door open. Possible that there is a magical spiritual kind of love that is like a spontaneous occurrence that is of very high value, and go figure.
I would say that I have the door a little bit more than just a crack open on that. I think what we need to also look at is like who is spouting this information. Say this came from Sadhguru's video. Is Sadhguru some guy just sitting on a cushion all day with people dropping grapes into his mouth?
No.
Or is Sadhguru an active,
super active,
influential person helping to change humanity?
For all the weird stuff Sadhguru gets up to, and just by weird I just mean not common to probably what you encounter every day, like you know, sitting and like eyes rolling into his head in front of a giant audience and like, you know, going into an altered state. For all the stuff like that he does, I think he does like way more feet on the ground, you know,
humanitarian
terraforming a whole area. Like, we brought the desert back to, you know, so I'm not trying to imitate, you know, offensively somebody, but like, he's doing environmental stuff, he's doing humanitarian stuff. He's an active guy. So
so that's just another side. Like,
and maybe they go together.
I
don't know.
Maybe there's something there.
Think about even Jesus, like in the stories of Jesus, like it's not like he didn't actually do stuff. He didn't only talk. He was like healing people and multiplying bread. And
all right, Karen Thakur. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Thakur, Karen Thakur. Not understandable for no experienced guys, but reaction on Sadhguru forces of beyond. So I've written that down, and I get what you're saying, Karen. Like, if you're new to like the non-duality, yogis, Eastern mysticism world, it's going to be hard to kind of maybe understand what he's saying. Sometimes you just got to jump in with both feet and just like sit there and not understand for a while before you do start to make sense of it. That's kind of like that's kind of how I got into it. Well, I didn't understand at all what these people were talking about when I
also think that's like your interpretation of what this person is stating or asking.
Okay, all right, maybe I got it wrong.
No, I don't. I don't know.
So I don't know. I don't know where the starting point is, right, for people. So this is kind of like our journey that we share with you guys, and we learn off of you guys writing us and all that stuff. So
we you know, it's possible that we may make videos in the future where it's like a how-to, like this is how you do this. That's possible. But thus far, none of our videos are what you search up when it's like how to do a Vipassana bebop. That's not what it's been so far. It's been more like, check this out. We're checking it out too, and you know, as people interested in this field and people that have their own, you know, have experimented a little bit with different spiritual practices and teachings and research and understanding and learning. This is our take from that, and also as people that you know, have families and jobs and are busy, like probably a lot of people. You know, who can't sit and meditate in a cave for 1,000 hours a day. That doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean?
Yes, I get what you're saying. Ashru Mochana, hopefully I got that right, said, please react to 84 Big Bangs from this channel. Okay, so just like the person before, I want you to know that I've documented the request. It's all documented. I don't know when we'll do it, but we'll try to do it. So for anyone who's watching our channel, the best way to show to us that you like want stuff done is through likes and subscribes and commenting that you want it.
Because it reflects in the analytics.
Oh, okay. We're not going to continue doing videos that nobody wants to watch.
Right.
So we want to. So like, if you're like, I want to see more of this, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed and hit the likes and all that stuff. That lets us know that okay, we should continue to explore this with you guys because we want to do this with you guys. I think that's the end of the comments. It is. So we'll wrap this video up. Thanks for all the comments this week, guys. We hope more come for the next week. And everyone, we'll end it here. Until next time, stay spiritual.